Alright, empower the Emperor. Whoa! Yo, look at the flag. We got it. We're at war with the Soviet Union. Oh my god, we just discovered a hidden path. No way. No way we just discovered a hidden path. Hello guys, welcome to No Compromise, No Surrender, the brand new DLC that is dropping soon, like very soon by the time I release this video. Firstly, thank you to Paradox for giving me an early copy of this DLC and sponsoring this video. I had a blast playing this, and as you can probably tell from the title and thumbnail, I came across something that I did not expect. We have the Japanese Empire. That is what we're going to be playing. I know a lot of you thought I was going to be playing Communist China, or now the Chinese Soviet Republic, because I know what you guys are like, but no! I'm gonna switch up on you guys. Now, as you can tell, we don't start as fascist, and we have quite a bit of democracy support, which is more historically accurate. The same can be said for China. It now looks different and a lot more fractured. We're led by, not Hirohito yet, by Keisuke Okada. This guy, he's political power gain, he's a moderate politician. I don't know much about this guy. You might have noticed there's this create faction button here. Oh my god, the faction rework is here, and I'm so excited. And of course, as Japan, we become leader of the co-prosperity sphere, so we're going to be able to see what happens with the faction rework. They've also decided to put America in their own faction at the start of the game, which is a great choice. It just prevents them from always joining the Allies no matter what. This is huge for Mexico because in their communist path, they always tack the UK and America at the same time, and that brings America into the Allies, but now it will be different. In terms of national spirits, some of them are the same as before, but we have a whole bunch of new ones. The most important one is the Imperial Influence. Essentially, there are 4 factions inside of Japan, all which can be accessed in the focus tree. The Army, the Navy, the Zaibatsu, and the Civic. The more influence a faction has, you get more bonuses for their specific group. However, it comes at the cost of other faction influence decreasing, therefore giving you debuffs for those. So depending on the game style you want to play, you want to boost certain factions, and for this one, we're going the Kohota branch and trying to invade the Soviet Union, so therefore I'm going to make the Army faction the strongest. Internal faction demands, of course. If you look in the focus tree, you can actually see where you can influence all the factions. What does the Civic faction do? That's like recruitable population, stability, and political power gains. Zaibatsu is like construction speed for civilian factories and infrastructure. Naval faction and army faction are self-explanatory. And they're all meddling right now, but I think the path that we're going to go, I think the army faction is going to be the strongest. One more thing, if the faction has a high influence, you have to give in to some of their demands. Which isn't all bad, they kind of guide you in the direction that you should be going if you are boosting that faction. For example, later in this video, the army faction's like, you better have 600k manpower in the field. It's like, I don't have a problem with that. Now, I think I'm going to start with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, getting a Civ and -5 consumer goods. 35 days. We've also got the naval treaties. We can test the Soviets, of course. That's still here. That's fun. And then the rest of these are just pretty normal. And then we have early industrialization efforts, which 30% consumer goods. I want to get rid of this as soon as possible. How do I get rid of that? Surprise, surprise, I completely forget about this national spirit until like the 1940s. We already start on partial MOB. So if we were to go to early MOB, we get more consumer goods, but the coal is -15%, so we get more coal. Okay, it's supposed to work the other way around. You increase your mobilization and you use more coal. If you don't have enough coal, you can't increase your mobilization further. I don't know why I said it backwards. I'm an idiot. Whoa, we have 3 tank divisions. Okay, we do. Okay, they're not very quick, but you know what? We're going to be fighting where the supply is going to be absolutely atrocious, so I think speed isn't exactly our priority. Anyway, I organized the rest of my army, and I finally got around to being able to play the game. Not before I encountered these new naval headquarters. I kind of ignore it this game because, well, we're playing Army Japan, not Navy Japan. Rumors of a military coup. Recently, rumors have been swirling around a possible coup d'etat being planned by the Konoha faction. We may need to act swiftly, lest we see this bloodbath in the near future. Oh, I want to see this bloodbath. So I can increase security around this guy, or another guy. Oh yeah, I can restore order. Oh, so currently, Korea has a modifier called Popular Resistance Against the Current Rule, and gets rid of all that. Also, those decisions allow us to core Korea in the future, which is essential for manpower, industry, and everything. Hell, even land to build on, because you run out of building slots pretty quickly as Japan. I think we'll do the Imperial Defense Plan. It's only 21 days. So, if we declare war on a neighboring country, for the first 90 days, we get an attack and breakthrough bonus. Yo. And when we declare a war on a country with capital ships, we get capital ship attack against country and spotting. Oh my god. Well, when we invade someone, we better take advantage of those bonuses. Anyway, the countdown for the February 26 incident happened, and well, I didn't choose to increase security around anyone, but we got 3 options. The February 26 incident. This is the decision that gets you to decide which path you want to go down. We can put an end to it, which is not what we're doing. The time has come to return traditions. The Kodaha faction will seize the Ministry of War, the Imperial Hotel, the National Diet, as well as the palace. We complete revere the Emperor, destroy the traitors. But look at this, that's a cool, we're the Japanese shogunate now. Yo, with this guy. However, that guy is just temporary because a new emperor is going to rise in Japan. And no, it's not going to be Hirohito. There we go, Japanese young officer coup. Convincing the emperor. Alright, our emperor has expressed disinterest towards our ambition for a Showa restoration and an establishment of a new military government. Essentially, Hirohito is about 50-50 on whether he actually wants to be the leader of Japan. So we can either force him to, tell him that we have other candidates in mind and he'll have a 50-50 chance of actually agreeing, or just kill him. And if you want to get the hidden leader, you better follow my guide here, okay? Do not mess up. Flip a coin on what happens. Let's see. And for me, he declined. Now, this is a bit RNG, so if you got him to say yes, then you got to restart. No, Hirohito, he refuses to support the government. Despite our persistent attempts to persuade our great emperor, it seems he refuses to see reason. Though less than ideal, we did know that this was a possibility and have plans laid to deal with a scenario of this kind. Now keep in mind, as I was playing this game, I had no idea that I was headed towards the secret leader. This was literally all by accident on my very first playthrough, I'm not even kidding. Anyway, you don't kill him here, you don't kill Hirohito here, you just put him under house arrest. Under house arrest, I think. Yashito will replace Hirohito. Alright, new emperor, guys. I know you guys are going to be like, this is fake, it's a sponsored video, he was told how to do it. I kid you not, I promise you, I swear to God, hand on my heart, I was not told how to get this path. I just came across it on my very first playthrough. Like, what luck is that? Anyway, that's all the important stuff on how to get the Empress. For now, just sit back and watch the rest of the video. Alright, question of military clique's leadership. With the establishment of our new military government, the question of leadership has once again arisen. I want this guy. I don't care if he's less popular. Here we go. Alright, is this a new prime minister then? Yes. Alright, staunch traditionalist. Just guns are the things we're worried about. Alright, there's the Grand Army Purge. Let's remove the weeds from the crop. Also, if I increase the army faction anymore, the naval faction is going to be subdued, which is just a bit excessive, I think. Maybe I won't touch that for now. Army faction demand political appointments. What do you mean? I have a chief of army. What happened to my chief of army? He probably got purged. See what I mean? This is one of the events where the army faction is influential and they make you do stuff. And I mean, you can choose to ignore it, but you lose their support, which isn't great. Yeah, the Minister of Finance, why not? Oh, so yeah, we actually can now see all of the spirit of the armies. Because before you couldn't see all of them, they would only appear if you were a certain ideology. Now you can see all of them and you can see like what ideology you need to be. And I mean, that's just a nice change, quality of life really. It's pretty ironic, you play this game, you don't actually have a life. Yes, Anti-Comintern Pact, I will join that, thank you. I do have it on historical by the way, but that's about the end of 1936, moving on to next year. I feel like the Kwantung Army is growing impatient. Ah yes, they want us to invade China, and currently that's not on my agenda. Not yet at least. Luckily, if you go down the Emperor path, you can subdue them. Yeah, subdue the Kwantung Army. Oh, I gotta continue down this. Oh my god. I haven't been doing that. Oops. Well, I have, kind of. Alright, the Genko Restoration. Let's do it. At long last, the era of liberal Teshio democracy is at an end. There's resources here as well. We actually have access to those. But the steel here is lovely. And that's going to take forever to get to. I think striking north into the Soviet Union is a better plan for our country. So we're going to actually try and subdue the Kwantung Army, prevent them from just trying to invade China. Like, okay, they need to chill on that. The Soviet Union is where it's at. And I know you're thinking, Moscow is miles away, like how are we going to capitulate them? Fortunately, we have the opportunity to sign a separate peace deal. If we manage to control half of Siberia, the option comes up, and if they're fighting a war against Germany, then I think they'd be pretty likely to say yes. Okay, we can do a doctrine. Infantry, artillery, support armor, operations. What is operations? Now, I didn't really read through the dev diary for doctrines, so I'm just kind of guessing on what to do here. Alright, let's do Hokushin Ron. The faction within our army that refers to themselves as the Strike North Group advocate expansion into Siberia and Mongolia as a means of gaining the natural resources and economic value we require to continue our imperial ambitions. Army demands a larger army. How much? 600k manpower. Okay. At least it's kind of guiding us to how much they want how big our army should be. I also started investing into Manchuria not only to help build supply, but you can eventually annex them later if you do. After training a bunch more divisions and deploying some planes, I finally came back to actually figure out the doctrines. Assault infantry, look at that. I want the support artillery soft attack. Oh look, unlock. Oi! And now, over time, as we gain army experience, that doctrine will progress itself, each hitting a new tier which gives different bonuses. And we can have up to 4 at once under our main doctrine, which is Grand Battle Plan. And then you get Mastery, and as you get more Mastery, you progress. I guess you just progress down the doctrine. So how do you get Mastery? You just gain it automatically? I'm getting 0. Like I said, if you fight with that doctrine, you gain army experience, which kind of correlates to progression of that itself. You don't have to click anything, it does it automatically. Look at this, you get Soviet Union attack bonus against country here. Oh my god. I also forget, we bought a Soviets here, so I need a small army just to guard that. The army faction insists in support trucks, demands more trucks. Oh my god, no. Is it going to ask for a stockpile? I'm down negative 1.6k right now. That's like the one piece of equipment I don't have. I'm beginning to think that that event wasn't random and it just chooses the one you have the least of. So many more military factories. That about wraps it up for 1937. On to the next year. Alright, empower the Emperor. Whoa! Yo, look at the flag! That's sick. Japanese Empire, Yoshito. With our new emperor in charge, I decided it would be a good time to start integrating Korea and Taiwan. Integrate Korea as well. Start doing the suppression of, like, their rebellions. Unfortunately, it's going to cost a whole bunch of political power because you've got to suppress the rebels and then use political power to core it. But it's worth it, especially for the manpower and the building slots so we can get cores on that Korea offers. I got so many light tanks. I could try and add, like, armored recon instead of just normal recon. We'll be down 700 light tanks, but that's okay. I'll just start producing them a lot more. I don't know what I was thinking here, alright? I'm down trucks already. My production quotas are not being met, like, hardly anywhere. I'm still even down infantry equipment, but you know, you gotta aim high so you can do well. After designing an aeroplane, I was finally ready to start integrating Korea. I should try and lower it, I guess. Civilian oversight increases compliance the most. Yes, I need to have 40% compliance, so we're gonna have to deal with some resistance for now. Alright, worthy successor of Meiji done. The Imperial Colors. Should I test the Soviets? I'm kinda tempted. I feel like I can still fight the Soviets before Germany gets involved. Anyway, past the previous focus, there are actually 3 really interesting options. All to do with forming a faction or how we can get involved in a war against the Soviets. First is just self-reliance, where we create our own faction and add closed economy as the economic law. Secondly is to ally with Germany formally into the Axis. And the last option really caught my eye. We can guarantee Poland from Soviet aggression only, much like how the Allies guaranteed Poland from German aggression only, which would drag us into a war against the Soviets when Poland gets invaded. So basically, this is like us going into war against the Soviets. Wow, that's really interesting. That's really, really interesting. It's like how the Allies guaranteed Poland from a German invasion, but not a Soviets. We would guarantee Poland from a Soviet invasion, but not a German. You see, the reason everyone wants to guarantee Poland is because they're all femboys. Create our faction, the Japanese Sphere. We have 1 long-term goal slot added to my faction. Closed economy. Anyway, that's the path I go down because I just kind of want to be on my own. But ensure temporary peace with China. Let's do that, actually. Fortunately, we can sign a non-aggression pact, which I'm thankful for because normally China would declare war on you if you didn't. Anyway, I got my first glimpse into the new factions. Faction initiative. Okay. Wait. There's our faction, the Japanese Sphere. So what is this new page that we've got for the faction? The containment of world communism. It looks like that is our goal. The world cannot be safe until the communist threat is put down. Global rank 5. Essentially, there are short, medium, and long-term goals which you can choose, and also you get bonuses when you complete them. So it's a good idea to choose the goals that give you the best bonuses and ones that are achievable to complete. Like my first short-term goal is declare war on communism, and that's just when I invade the Soviets. But then I got a glimpse into the faction checks, and I got so happy. Who can join the faction? Own subjects only. Oh, this is a blessing. This is a blessing, guys. Oh my god. Oh my god. Guys, Spain is no longer going to join the co-prosperity sphere. The amount of times I've seen fascist Spain join the Japanese faction in a game. Oh my, it's not going to happen anymore. It's not going to happen. Or like Costa Rica, right? They're fascist and they join the co-prosperity sphere. However, with the creation of my faction, the Chinese United Front was only growing. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Damn, they're all joining Chinese. Look at this Chinese United Front. I couldn't get this. I should have done this, to be honest. Yeah, I could have puppeted Manchukuo, but they joined the Chinese United Front now, so I don't have that either. I've got 18 mastery now. I'm gaining 5.8 per month. Now, I think I made the mistake of switching it here. I wasn't sure if you could do multiple sub-doctrines under the sub-doctrine, which is under the big doctrine. Okay. So it might have reset my progress, but honestly, I don't know what I was doing, so yeah. Alright, army is almost 800k now, so we actually are getting a pretty good sizable army. Even though it's smaller than the Soviets, we still have an advantage in that they have less supply than me in the region. Well, in Manchuria, I probably don't have the best supply either, but near Vladivostok, I think I have better supply. Essentially, they won't be able to fit their whole army here, so we're going to be more evenly matched. No, I'm going to utilize a new expertise. We get winter stuff and recon support company. That's good, actually. Forest and hills. And we got plenty of equipment coming out now. 38 military factories. That is beautiful to see. So, if I manage to complete the goal, the bonuses we get aren't the best. We get 5% war support, which I mean is nice. It's a short-term goal though, so like I wouldn't expect it to be any good. Anyway, let's focus on the medium goal. We're actually pretty close to completing it. We only need like 3 more civilian factories. Oh, let's call the rest of Korea core and core. Perfect. Mind improving the infrastructure of places with, you know, a lot of resources like here and here. It's important to get as many resources as possible because just like Germany, Japan is a focus where we need 200 of every resource. And you know it's bad when you need the entirety of Asia and just to sustain yourself. There's actually this thing called free trade. I don't know, maybe they should try some. Anyway, I started preparing for my invasion against the Soviets, which I was going to do in 1940, and just now, Germany invaded Poland. I was also trying to work out how to get my war goal against the Soviets. I couldn't find it for the life of me. Oh, gain oh, here. Strike down the enemy of the people. I think there. Yes. The great spiritual evil. However, I was wrong. This did not give us a war goal against the Soviets, only Mongolia. So then the first half of 1940, I was invading Mongolia, but then they wouldn't call in the Soviet Union, so I was literally just attacking Mongolia. You'll see, it was a mess. Right before I invaded them, I did the test the Soviets decision. And of course, I won, so it was a good sign to just go in. A winner. Japanese victory. We have settled this matter. Guys, let's go. Alright, the great spiritual evil. Strike down the enemy. Any Asian communist country. That's gotta be the Soviet Union, right? They're technically Asian, right? I don't know. I was really confused. It didn't actually list the USSR, and they're not Asians, right? That you wouldn't say the Russians are Asians, but like the country does reside in part of Asia, so it's like, oh, does it count or not? What do we do? What do we do? I think we'll do strike down the enemy of the people. This Xinjiang, Mongolia, this isn't including Soviets. So I had the bright idea of, after invading Mongolia, just to normally justify on the Soviets. And this resulted me diverging from the focus tree because now, even though I did well in the war, I couldn't do the separate peace deal. It bypassed the focus, so I had to go back and do it again. Great Manchurian Empire, there we go. There's the annex. They just, okay. Oi, look at that. Wait. So does that mean if I don't do it? Wait, it won't bypass. Oh my god, it will bypass. That is the focus that I'm supposed to declare war on the Soviets with. Finally, I found it. And now that it will bypass, I won't be able to do the separate peace deal because it's part of that focus, so I went back. Back to where we before we declared war, because I just saw the focus that lets us declare war. It's actually in the Strike North. It is in the Strike North tree. I just couldn't see it for some reason. I'm an idiot. But that's okay. But I think we could probably do it a little bit quicker because I know that this isn't going to work. I know that the Navy should just... These new naval mechanics, I could not figure out how to work it for the life of me to be able to get supremacy and then a naval invasion. And I just learned the old one. I literally just figured out how to do the old one well. Hey, thank God I made the save game, because it's like, it's not that I was losing. It's just like it would have bypassed the focus where I get the separate peace deal, which I really want to see. I can't do this. Army faction is least. Okay, so we have to do a green permission. Persimo. What am I talking about? Oh, so we get claims from this. We declare war on the Soviet Union, and then unlocks a decision to sign a separate peace deal to gain Siberia from them if we control it. 2 days, 1 day. There we go. We got it. We're at war with the Soviet Union. My first targets were to capture Vladivostok and advance into North Sakhalin. From there, I could get the supply to attack the rest of the eastern coast. We can get to this part of Siberia, and then we can just encircle all that as well. And I also got to re-annex that's North Sakhalin, yeah. I can also re-annex Manchuria. I got to do that. From there, I closed up the rest of the eastern pocket and tried to push further into Siberia. However, I began encountering supply issues and the Soviets were massing up their men even more. No surprises, I didn't expect to be able to keep advancing past Siberia. We know the Germans are going to go in on them next year, so even if we can't push, we're going to be able to eventually. Knowing what's going to happen is a huge advantage. No way I would have done this if I didn't know Germany was going to invade. There we go. All done, and now we have decisions to integrate them as core land, eventually. Being able to core Manchuria is utterly insane in my opinion. Like, we're going to have unlimited manpower. But hey, these are the kind of things that make this game fun. Over in China, the communists and nationalists started fighting, so they're busy. They won't invade me. I decided to stop pushing. There was no supply. I did build some, or I was trying to build some, but it's going to take a while. The airbase, yes, the airbase is good enough. Right, into Mongolia. All of you, not all of them can reach. How many? Okay, a decent amount can reach. I thought maybe temporarily planes might fix my issue, but no, they weren't quite enough. Mostly because I didn't have the range. I even built like medium fighters, or the heavy fighters, the one where it's like, you know, they have range, but no, it wasn't enough. Oh, you've probably just seen this, but the Soviets came to Xinjiang's aid, who are at war with China. So now we have the Soviets fighting China as well. So Xinjiang is like an SSR, and now the Soviets, when they get invaded by Germany, actually stand no chance. Yo, the Soviet Union's at war with China? What, they're intervening in there? What is that? I don't know why I'm mad. Makes my job easier. Oh my god, on the map, it shows. What the heck? You can see naval dominance on the map? I don't know. I'm ignoring it. Let's do this. The Imperial Way. Attack and defense on core territory. Anyway, you can see my doctrines progressing very quickly now, because I'm in the middle of a war. And then I looked at what states I need to control in order to sign the separate peace deal. I wish it showed me. Okay, okay, Irkutsk is here. We need to control this. Unfortunately, the other states I need to control go as far as Tanatuva, so there's still a long way to go. And then I got an event where I had an opportunity to go fascist, which I didn't choose. Alright, we're staying in the monarchy. Unfortunately, due to me ignoring my navy, all of my convoys going to supply my troops in mainland Russia were getting raided. That was a problem. But not one I was willing to solve. Anyway, next year, Germany invades. In 1942, look at the Xinjiang Autonomous SSR. Oh, by the way, Germany has already invaded. I don't know when that happened. I completely forgot about that. I must have missed it. But yeah, they're like well past Moscow. I don't know how I've only managed to notice once they've gone past Moscow, but like, yeah, goddamn. Of the Imperial Nations, do that. Wait, we need to go all the way to Kirkisa? We need to go all the way here? Oh, wow, okay. Now, normally I'd be like, this is going to take a while, but the Soviets are fighting on 3 fronts, so I think they're going to capitulate before I even reach Siberia. I'd love to see this separate peace deal, but they might actually just capitulate into, like, you know, normally. Supply has arrived. Oh my god. Finally, the supply hub was built, and with that, I was able to drive further into Mongolia. They're going to capitulate. They're at 98. We're going to capitulate. Looks like I don't need to sign the separate peace deal because the Soviet Union just capitulated. God. No way. Alright, well, we actually have the second largest war score. I annexed as much of the Soviet territory as I could while puppeting Mongolia. Well, world tension went down. Look at that. That is beautiful. Now, you may notice China has taken a bunch of land too, and I'm gonna sort that out. Alright, we are at peace. For now. Ooh. Can I do any of these? Yeah. Individual excellence. Let's do that. Does it, like, replace what I just did, though? See, am I, like, replacing my doctrines by doing that? I don't know. Do I have both? Yeah, I think I screwed up doing that. I just switched doctrine paths and it replaced it, and now I have to start again with a new doctrine. I don't remember if I feel like I'm accidentally replacing it. I feel like once you get to here, you stop, right? You don't do another one. A naval invasion into China? Am I even gonna do that? Yeah, I better learn how to figure out how to do a naval invasion quick, because there's no way I'm beating China if I can't figure that out. So I start preparing a front line against the entire Chinese front, which stretches from like the northern parts of Siberia down to, well, mainland Asia. I'm liking the look of my faction. Look at this. Germany's winning. America is still on their own. Doing their own thing. So I wonder how this plays out. Do they join the Allies, or do they just declare war on Germany? Technically, Germany declares war on America. So maybe they won't be actually in the Allies faction. They might just fight with the British. But of course, I'm not doing Pearl Harbor around this time, so I don't even know if they're going to join the war at all. Look, I can edit the rules. Yo! And it costs points? Wait. I forgot to mention this, but when you achieve faction goals, you get these points, and you can use them to change the rules, I guess. So now I can, like, include more people in my faction if I wanted to, like, by opening it up. It's actually really cool. You can literally customize your faction. It's great. So the Chinese United Front, that sounds pretty easy. Why is it? Hebei is just on its own. I can easily invade Hebei and Shandong. Oh my god, why don't I do that? Anyway, before we invaded, we got an event called Rumors of a Popular Rebellion, and this is correlated to getting the Empress in charge of Japan. What is this? With the Empress still in house arrest despite the long time since we established our government, dissent is growing even faster. It seems that our people wish to see Hirohito properly restored to the throne. The Emperor found dead. We can kill the Emperor, or the former Emperor, or let him live. Dude, we could be so maniacal. I do want to see the event. The Emperor found dead. We're killing the Emperor. Now, I must state, this is Hirohito we're talking about. We're killing Hirohito. And this is important because his wife then decides we need to investigate his murder. Yeah, the Emperor found dead in his residence. He announced earlier today that Showa, as Hirohito, has recently been found deceased in his imperial residence. Many suspect that it may have been a deliberate move by the military to try and secure power, though the official claim is that he died of natural causes. Though the Tokyo police haven't been allowed to enter to confirm his cause of death, surely this is treason by the military itself. Find the perpetrators. Demand answers. Kodaha officers indicated for Hirohito's murder, or just the nation mourns? I want to go down this rabbit hole. I'm going to go down this rabbit hole. I'm intrigued, and I know you guys are too. What happens if the Kodaha officers get indicated for his murder? Let me make a save game in case it decides to, like, collapse my entire empire. Find the perpetrators. And so, to my surprise, came the option for a new leader. The Kodaha officers were indicted for Hirohito's murder, and then martial law was declared. Empress Nagako becomes... Yo! We have an empress! No way! Yo, what the hell? Alright, we got an empress. That's not... yeah. Oh my god, we just discovered a hidden path! No way! No way we just discovered a hidden path! What can we do? Rockets... Naval dockyards and weapons of mass just nuclear weapons. This was not here before. I swear that wasn't there before. No way. Nah, this is sick. This is a hidden leader. I kid you not, this was my very first playthrough as well, so what luck I have. Look at this. Look at what she does. Embodying Empress Jingu. Political power gain plus 5%, recruitable population factor plus 10%, war support plus 10%, generate war goal tension limit negative 50%, although it's already at 100, and then justify war goal time goes down. Just as Empress Nagako's husband was murdered, so was Empress Jinshu. She went on a campaign of revenge. Then she turned her attention to a promised land. After 3 years, she vanquished her foes and returned triumphant. We shall continue this legend and see it through to its end. Right, embodying Empress Jingu, something like that. But there she is, all those bonuses. Anyway, I started going down the focus tree, which leads to war with China. But now that Menkukuo was already in the Chinese United Front, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to do the focus that gets them to my side, but fortunately it was okay. They're in our faction now. Yo! Okay, we just got them like that. I did not expect them to accept. Don't have to worry about that then. I also preemptively set up an invasion from Korea into China, but also put my navy out early in order to build up this naval dominance thing, which you need to be able to get supremacy. Getting more military dominance. That bar is going up pretty quickly, so that might be good enough to get the naval invasion off. Alright, the Senbu. They've been established to increase our control over continental possessions and have begun attempting to increase the compliance in our occupied territories. Have you noticed there's less pop-ups of like countries joining the Allies, which is great? I don't think you guys would notice because I always cut it out, so... Anyway, an incident with China escalated, and so the war began. Call to arms. Let's go. Let's go. Unfortunately, when I tried to do the naval invasion, it did not work. I don't have the naval dominance. I don't know if I can't launch the invasion. I don't have the supremacy for it. I got Beijing though, alright. Contrary to the sea, land was going really well, and I was pushing very quickly into China. It does help that we have massive bonuses when we first launch our invasions. However, this would eventually slow down, and it would become a challenge. I was making really good progress along the coast, and then suddenly I could do a naval invasion. I don't know, I got the dominance, I don't know how though, but I managed to get it. So I went ahead and set it up as quick as I could. At this point I don't even need an invasion, but we gotta do it, alright, we're Japan. We gotta do it. What are they at? They're already at 28%. Alright, we're chill. Come on, land. Yes. From there, I put a whole bunch more units on that tile and began pushing from there too. Then we got the event that I completely forgot about where like we attack one of America's boats and we have to apologize to them. And honestly, I just want to focus on China, so I do apologize. We should be able to annex Mongol military government. And we've also got the Great Mongol State. We got 2 Mongolias. And then Germany wanted control over former colonies and I said no. Well, no. Islands? No. Go away. However, as I connected my naval invasion and took over the coast, it became considerably harder to advance. I was getting worried for a second that they made China too much of a pushover, but fortunately not. I don't, as long as we're holding this, they got so many of their divisions up here as well, that's the thing, so that is kind of helping me out. Can we go this way? Oh, we're struggling now, it's getting a bit hard. Here, I want to attack, what? Yeah, that's like there. Oh yeah, we can also get attack bonuses on different states with a decision that I am utilizing very inefficiently. Anyway, the war would continue to 1944. 1944? Ah, see, look, they're just like, they're holding now. Oh dear. Unfortunately, the front had slowed down quite badly. We may control the entire coast, but China is far from capitulating. Then I realized that I hadn't clicked a decision that gave me even more bonuses, so I went ahead and did that. The reorganized national government. We made it pretty far. Look how far we made it, and then we just got bogged down. Anyway, I clicked the decision to do the attack. However, then a timer started, and I had 1 year to conquer China from that decision, and now I was worried. Attack bonus? Come on, please pay off. Please pay off the attack bonus. Conquer China. I got a year to do it now. Oh dear, what happens? Lose stability, war support. I've already got below 50% stability. Well, I better lock in and get it done, because I imagine once that time is over, it's not going to be the end of it, alright? The debuffs are only going to get worse. Stop trying to attack. It's not working. We're just losing guns. We're being idiotic. Anyway, there was this one supply hub that I really, really wanted to take. And the bubble was green, but then it would go red, and I was so close. I was so desperate to take it. We actually have... Wait, we have supply now. We have supply down here. What if I attacked? Here we go. We're here. Now, there's a couple of supply hubs around Nanchang, and I finally managed to get it, and I built the railroad as soon as I could. Alright, on the move again. On the move, on the move, on the move. Can I get Wuhan? Yes. Okay, that's surrounded. Good. That's supply. As I was doing better in the south, they were beginning to push me out of Mongolia and towards Beijing again. The supply will be connected like that. Perfect. Just make sure we get this here, and then that will be disconnected. I was getting really close to Chongqing, but again, China was liberating some victory points in the north, so I wasn't really capitulating them as well. This is really bad here. They've taken... Oh my god. In order to relieve the gun deficit, I handed over a bunch of territory to the Chinese government, the reorganized government. Not the one I'm fighting, okay, the one I've set up. I need more divisions. I just need more of them, but it's just... I don't even have the manpower. I need to save up political power, I forget. They're dying. What are the casualties? 2.1 million to... Damn! Yep, I've taken more casualties against China. Thank God I have a good recruitable population mechanic. And I then reorganized my air force and took them off, just like assigning them to a general, and that worked so much better. Now, I only have to capitulate China, none of their puppet states, right? Because then I get the peace deal, so I really was focusing on just China. 1945, alright, this is going to be still quite a while. We've made it to Yunnan, which is insane. I didn't think I was this close to capitulating them, but here we are. I think I just need to retake what I took before, and we'd be okay. Army faction loses influence, whatever. What are they at now? Oh my god, they're so close. 96. No way! Oi! We did it! We did it! Yes! Yes, 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 yes! Now, I did not expect I would capitulate China, considering, like, it's late game, and they've had, like, a bunch of time to build up and get allies and, you know... But so did I, and I'm glad I beat them. Now, I did annex everything. If we created a Chinese puppet, though, we might have done that. I still haven't finished coring Manchuria. So, I mean, we get some manpower there. I decided to puppet China, but that actually got rid of the resources that we got from China, so now we're not going to be able to get the 200 for every resource that we need. But yeah, there we go. Reformed Government of the Republic of China. Beautiful. Now, I probably could continue down the Strike South tree and help Germany take out the Allies in Asia, but I've done that before plenty of times, so we're going to leave that there. I know the Empire would be cooler, but hey, maybe that's a challenge for you guys. Overall, this seems like a really good DLC. I had lots of fun playing this old history Japan path. Finding that hidden leader was absolutely insane as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.